Hey guys, what's up? I didn't think I'd be back with another review, literally day after I uploaded my review of Green Room, but here I am. I'm spoiling you guys. This is the first time in a while that I've done, first time in a pretty in a decent amount of time that I've done two reviews back to back. Well, not back to back, but like each day, one each day. But I'm here with a review of a Japanese animated surreal horror fantasy drama film from 1973, and it is called Belladonna of Sadness. Now, I first discovered this film, actually. I saw a trailer for it when I went to see the Green Room at the Gateway Film Center in downtown Columbus. They were doing a screening of this film. And it's going to be one night only, and it's for the new, like, 4K restoration of the film on, like, I think it's, like, I know it's on, like, actual film, like, they did an actual restoration of it on film, and they're showing it on film. And as much as I'd like to go see it, thing is, and it is screening, actually, on my birthday, which is really cool. But the thing is, I am actually kind of busy that weekend, and even though it would be cool present one of my friends, or it'd be cool if one of my friends would go and see it with me, I don't think anybody would be willing to see it with me, A, and B, like I said, I'm busy with some family stuff that weekend, so I cannot take part of that, even though it would be a cool kind of birthday thing to do. But I saw the trailer for this one, and I was instantly captivated by it. The trailer is extremely weird. And just, it's one of those things that's like, as soon as I saw it, I could tell a few things about the film. One, that the film was hand-drawn, it's hand-drawn animation. Two, that it was obviously from the 70s. Three, that it was obviously Japanese. And four, it was really, really weird. All I know about this film is that it is somewhat of a, like, surrealist, feminist masterpiece film. And it is a film that centers around a young peasant girl who is sexually assaulted in her village, and then they call her a witch, and then she gets kicked out of the town, and she's banished from the town or whatever, and she sells her soul to the devil in order to get magical powers to get revenge on them. That's all I know about this film, and I am really interested in checking it out, and I figured, since I was going to watch it tonight anyway, I figured I would just do a kind of review on it. So, yeah, without further ado, let's check out Belladonna of Sadness. So the film opens up, interestingly enough, with some kind of montage of a woman falling in love, and then being torn in half down the middle. Then it takes about 12 minutes to get past the opening credits, which that was a part of, to get to the actual story of the film. And the film begins with the ending of the film. I'm not going to spoil what happens, but once you see the beginning, you're a little confused, and then once you've actually finished the film, it makes a bit more sense. So, gotta say, just plain out, the voice acting in this film is not that good. And neither is the animation. It's no Studio Ghibli when it comes to its voice acting and animation, but it still has its own kind of strange style. And how it can really go from, like, some really, like some good hand-drawn animation to kind of a frame-by-frame still drawings of the characters. And it goes back and forth between this kind of style to, like, a kind of water paint kind of style of still frames and stuff. It's interesting how the film kind of plays out. The characters aren't really fleshed out, or characters at all, but the main character, who is Junu, I believe. I cannot remember. It was either that or Belladonna. I'm pretty sure it was Junu that her name was. I don't even think that's how it's pronounced. But but she is probably the most sympathetic and most fleshed out character, even though you still don't know a ton about her. But really, if you just know a bit about like medieval mythology, because this is kind of based in like the 1800s and kind of the Dark Ages, you will know that these are kind of your average peasant characters. Our main character and her husband are. I don't think I really need to touch on effects or anything else. Everything else in the film is very, very solid. The soundtrack to the film is very good. I might have to buy the soundtrack. Maybe. Maybe. I mean, I haven't really fully decided yet. I really like the soundtrack, and I really like the one song that plays a few times throughout the film. And it plays in the trailer for the film. But, still, I would just say this, that overall, the film has a very psychedelic and interesting way of portraying sex and violence, and it's kind of like Pink Floyd The Wall, in the sense that the animation is good, and the film all over is very weird, but it has a good, but it's a weird way, but it has a weird way of kind of telling a very, very simple and kind of straightforward story. This story being, a woman basically is sexually assaulted by the devil, and she is like banished from her village after people assume that she's possessed by the devil because she was sexually assaulted by the devil. She then makes a pact with the devil to get revenge on the town by giving her powers and turning her into a witch. And overall, how this all plays out, it plays out in a very, very psychedelic, interesting, and kind of heartbreaking way, especially with how the ending kind of happens. This film really isn't for everyone, like, at all. The first review I ever read of this film on IMDb was somebody who gave it 1 star and said it was nothing but, like, bright, colorful, pretentious trash, and I will admit, it is not the most fast-paced, action-packed, straightforward film ever, but it makes a bit of sense. I mean, if you really just kind of take the kind of psychedelic sequences with a grain of salt, it makes a bit more sense as a whole story. And while it isn't the most fast-paced, entertaining, or interesting weird film, I mean, I'll definitely be honest, it's a very interesting movie, very well made, and I really like the film, but it's not like as interesting or as kind of unsettling or weird as something like Eraserhead or Under the Skin is weird and unsettling and just strange. Or, as I've been saying, Pink Floyd The Wall is very strange. But the film has some very cool, has a very cool kind of visual style, as well as a sense of humor at times. There are a few jokes in the film that I thought were actually kind of funny. Although these jokes might not be on purpose, it's still kind of cool. And the devil character is very interesting because when you first see the devil in this film, he's like a very small kind of very, very small kind of creature, like as big as like my thumb. And he eventually grows bigger and bigger throughout the film. But it's a far from perfect film. But in all honesty, I would highly recommend you check it out. If you are interested in weird movies and, you know, you happen to find a copy of this, I know that the company that is doing the restoration of this film is also doing a Blu-ray release of it, and I will most likely probably pick up the Blu-ray of it because I like this film, and the version I saw was from an old VHS rip, which looked okay, but honestly, I would like to see this film fully restored on Blu-ray. I think it would look very, very nice. I mean, from what I saw in the actual trailer with the few things that are restored that they put out in the trailer, it looks a lot better in the trailer. The footage does in the restored trailer than it does in in the film itself. If you're looking for some anime that's unconventional and a bit weird, it's definitely no Miyazaki, it's definitely no Satoshi Kon, it's definitely not a Ghibli film at all. Even the darkest of Ghibli films, like Grave of the Fireflies. I'm not saying this is as dark, depressing, or anything as Grave of the Fireflies. I'm just giving that as an example. Even the darkest film, like Grave of the Fireflies, can't compare to the sheer weirdness of this film. And the film does have a very dark tone overall, and is pretty creepy at times. And honestly, even though this doesn't fall under the horror genre with a lot of people, and it doesn't fall under the horror genre on IMDb, I would honestly say that this is somewhat of a horror film. It has to do with a woman selling her soul to the devil to get revenge on a town after they kicked her out because she was raped by the devil. How can you not say that that is not a horror film? The feminist aspect of the film I honestly didn't see or understand, or I didn't care to see it at least. I just kind of watched the film and saw what I saw. So, yeah, I can't really say whether or not it's a feminist masterpiece it's a masterpiece of, like, feminist surreal cinema, but it's really interesting, and I would highly recommend you check it out if you're interested. I'd give this film a solid, probably 3.5 out of 5, maybe a 4 out of 5. Haven't really fully decided yet. I still really like this movie. But anyway, guys, that's it for this review. This is BiscuitBoo69, signing off. Peace.